What if I told you, the samurai didn't just dominate warfare? They reshaped an entire civilization. And what if I told you, their influence hasn't ended, it's still here. Hidden in plain sight, guiding the way Japan thinks, acts, and even runs its businesses. Forget the romanticized warriors in movies. The truth? Samurai were masters of power, from war, to politics, to mind control. And by the end of this video, I'll reveal something that even most historians don't talk about, a connection between samurai and modern elite systems that might just blow your mind. This is the real story of how the samurai revolutionized warfare and culture, and what they never told you. The origins they don't teach you. Let's start by shattering the biggest myth. Most people think samurai were born noble, warriors of honor from elite bloodlines. Wrong. The earliest samurai were not noble knights. They were private military contractors. Hired swords. Loyal not to an emperor, but to powerful landowners, whoever could pay the most. Their name, samurai, meant those who serve. But then, in the 13th century, the Mongol Empire came knocking. The samurai, trained in one-on-one duels, were crushed by Mongol group tactics, explosives, and strategic warfare. It was their greatest defeat, and their greatest evolution. They had to rethink everything. The lone warrior mindset was abandoned. In its place came military discipline, formations, logistics, and strategic command. The samurai were no longer just fighters. They were becoming a war machine. The science of war. Samurai warfare wasn't just physical. It was deeply psychological. They trained their minds like weapons, through Zen Buddhism. Stillness. Emptiness. Presence. It wasn't for peace. It was for precision under pressure. You've heard of Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated duelist who won over 60 life-or-death battles. His secret? Mushin. No mind. In this state, fear disappears. Thought vanishes. Instinct takes over. Musashi didn't just fight. He flowed. And he wrote a book, The Book of Five Rings, still studied by CEOs, military commanders, and athletes around the world. Because the true samurai weapon wasn't the sword. It was consciousness sharpened like steel. Samurai were also spies. Here's something you won't hear in school. Samurai were not above deception. In fact, they mastered it. They used spies, shinobi, not just to gather intelligence, but to destabilize enemy clans from the inside. Espionage. Sabotage. Psychological warfare. They hid messages in their family crests. Used fake defectors to spread disinformation. Even their signature topknots? They weren't fashion. They made helmets fit tighter, and made them appear taller, more intimidating. In many battles, samurai won before a single sword was drawn, by turning fear into a weapon. The sword was sacred, but secondary. Here's a mind bender. The katana, the legendary sword of the samurai, wasn't even their main weapon in war. On real battlefields, spears and bows ruled. The katana? A sidearm. A last resort. So why did it become iconic? Because it became a symbol, not just of rank, but of spiritual discipline. Forged through sacred rituals, infused with family legacy, the katana represented a warrior's soul. But if you really want to know what made samurai unstoppable, it was their grip on systems, not just swords. They built bureaucracies. They ran law enforcement. Many became administrators, warriors in armor, holding ledgers and land deeds instead of spears. Some even carried hidden weapons, like folding firearms disguised as fans. They weren't just ready for war. They were ready for anything. The forgotten samurai women. Now here's something history tried to erase. Women were samurai too. They were called onna bugeisha, and they were trained from childhood to fight, defend, and lead. One of the most famous? Tomo Gozen. A legendary warrior who rode into battle and reportedly decapitated her enemies with terrifying skill. Another? Nakano Takeko, who fought during the Boshin War. When mortally wounded, she ordered her sister to cut off her head so her body wouldn't be taken by enemies. These women lived by the same code as the men: honor, loyalty, sacrifice. But during the Edo period, when Japan became more centralized and patriarchal, their stories were deliberately erased to push a new narrative, one that suited the new regime. Their blades were buried. But their legacy? Still sharp. The samurai who still ruled Japan in 1876, the samurai class was officially abolished. But did they vanish? Not even close. Many former samurai transitioned into politics, business, education, and law. They became the new elite, rebuilding Japan with the same code that once guided them in battle. The code of Bushido, the way of the warrior. Today, you'll find it not on battlefields, but in boardrooms. Japanese corporations like Toyota, Sony, and Mitsubishi are structured with loyalty, discipline, and hierarchy that reflect samurai values. The culture of excellence. The pressure to serve. The fear of failure. It's all still there, embedded into society. The battlefield became the corporation. The armor became the suit. The samurai changed the world, and the samurai didn't just change Japan. They reshaped global culture. George Lucas based the Jedi on samurai monks. Their robes, discipline, and lightsabers? All inspired by samurai armor and the katana. Batman? Trained in a ninja temple, guided by Bushido. U.S. Marines? Studied samurai codes and tactics during World War II. Today, special forces, CEOs, and martial artists still study the Book of Five Rings, Musashi's timeless strategy manual. Why? Because the battlefield is everywhere now. And those who master stillness, strategy, and self-discipline win. The final revelation: so now you know, the samurai didn't just fight wars. They rewired society. They redefined honor. And their fingerprints are all over the modern world. The sword may be gone, but the code still cuts deep. And here's the question: are the samurai truly gone? Or are they still here, guiding the world from the shadows? If this video opened your eyes to the untold story of the samurai, drop a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves history but hates the boring version of it. Let me know in the comments: do you want me to cover the secret samurai spy networks next? Or the warrior women history tried to erase? Your voice decides the next story. Until then, stay sharp.